railway projects, you have irrigations, dams, as well as your metros. So you have so many number of construction projects. All this together, totally, they determine the nation's ability. That is the entire infrastructural projects. We have multi-purpose river valley projects, industrial development projects, irrigation canal projects, railway projects, port developments projects carries a major part in the growth of the nation. When you are considering huge structure, what happens? You have huge materials involved, huge resources, huge machineries, huge manpower. So you give employment to so much of people. You hire the equipment, you have your laborers over there for operating your equipment. When you are constructing a structure, you have your men materials over there. You have like when you're working on materials, you have people to transport it, they produce it, they transport it. So n number of people are involved in this construction activities. On an average, about 50% of the total expenditure of our 5-year plan is invested in our construction projects. Construction is an everlasting activity across the globe. That's true, right? Then and there, like when you walk out of your street, you can see during this lockdown itself, like when you walk out of the street, you can note down so many number of houses being started constructing. So this happens. When if you imagine, like just imagine, you're walking in a street. In your street itself, people started constructing a new house. What will happen when you take in the district level and when you go for the state level and globally? So this activity is going to be everlasting. Every sector of our economy involves the construction activities. Like if a panel of doctors are going to open a hospital, what they need, the main sources are building. They need a hospital building. So imagine people, some educated people, say example, some professors or school teachers, they are going to open a new school. They need some school building. So wherever you go, building is the first, a major component they need. So that is so every sector they involves only construction activities. Without that, you cannot do anything. Construction is a major economic activity in India. 7% of GDP at 2005 and 19% of GDP at 2012, and playing an important role in the development of a country. Because as India is a developing country, so our construction activities plays a major role. Whatever you take, when you can take any entertainment complexes, when you take any multiplex complexes, wherever you go, your cinema theaters or your halls or your shopping centers, wherever you go, you need the infrastructure is nothing but the major construction activities where it is going on. The slide getting changed. Okay. So next is again the significance is getting continued. The construction industry provides employment on large scale, that is 31.5 million manpower in 2005 and 49.5 million manpower in 2012. If the construction projects are maintained, are you all along with me?
Um,
Okay, let me share it again. Just hold on for a second. Okay, is the slide visible now? Okay. Okay. Construction industries provide employment on the large scale. It's nothing but like roughly it was 31.5 million manpower in 2005 and it is 49.5 million manpower in 2012. By this 8 to 9 years, probably it might have increased to a huge level. If construction project schedules are not maintained properly, if you are not scheduling your activities, the construction activities, then the cost will definitely increase. Imagine if you're going to construct a 1 BHK house, let's take probably a house for your own. You have your budget, you have the target for 6 months or 3 months. If you're not able to finish that within the 6 months, so definitely it will be dragging where the cost is getting increased, your construction cost, because the interest rate of your cost is getting increased. Use of man, machine and equipment in construction industry increases the quality of construction. The art of construction has slowly developed as a science through ages. India is still developing country. The scope for the construction, that's true, right? Because still we are developing our like our infrastructure resources are still getting updated day to day. So like we are initially in our railways, now we are moving to our metros. So probably it will be getting updated in the next decades. So it will be good. It is still developing. The input of labor, capital, machinery, and raw materials can never become production without the catalyst of management. So you have the men, you have material, you have machineries. Without the proper management, you will not be able to put all this into your work. So you have some management team. They'll instruct you of what are the sources you need, what are the how much manpower you need. So you have management team to control the entire construction activity. In order to ensure that the huge resources invested in the construction activity are deployed efficiently for the benefit of the society, it needs construction management professionals. Without the construction management professionals, will not be able to direct and control all the construction activities to the laborers. So you need some construction management peoples to instruct them to coordinate, to also to monitor. All those things will be done by the managers, construction managers. Objectives of construction management: completing the work of the specified time. So whatever we take, when it's going to be a project, we need to complete it on time within the particular budget. As we told our birthday party, we have only 1 day or 2 days time. We have some 2000 or 5000 in hand. With that only we can like within that budget only we can frame our tasks. Similarly, completing the work with a specified time and a given budget. You have some budget sources. Within that budget source, you have to work on your project. Evolving a reputation for high quality workmanship. Providing very safe working environments. This safe working environments, it should be safe both for the staffs as well as for the workers or the laborers who are there to construct your building. Taking sound decisions at the lowest practical management level through delegation of the authorities. So you should have some people there to take sound decisions. If what happens if there is some minor accidents taking place in the work site, so you need some people to instruct, like you have the management officials there. They'll instruct you what to do immediately and what are the regulations or the rules that they are following in the construction firm. Motivating people to give their best. So you have the management team where they'll be appreciating you. Like frequently they'll be conducting reviews or meetings, seminars, so that they'll be analyzing if you are lagging somewhere. They'll let you know where you're lagging and you can like build yourself. You can start working on the goal. Creating an organization that works as an entire team. So they are the one who are going to build up a team to complete the construction work with the maximum economy, safety, and also efficiency. The building which you are going to construct should be it should be quality, it should be like the resources should be used efficiently, should be very safe both for the customers and for the workers who are going to work there. To develop proper planning for procuring resources, including procurement of stores and recruitment of personals. So this is how we start with initiating. Who is the person going to initiate? Nothing but the construction manager who is going to initiate. He's the one who is going to plan your activities. He'll be scheduling for the first week this activity, second week and third week. Similarly, he'll be scheduling your activities. That he'll be monitoring whether all the things are getting executed by the concerned departments or the concerned teams. And frequent monitoring, like then and there, they'll be conducting review meetings of the monthly progress or the weekly progress of the construction activities would be monitored by him. Also, finally, he is the one who is going to report the conclusion to the entire team. Next is the functions of construction management. Deciding in advance what is to be done, how, and what in order is to be done. So, like you have some certain objectives, you have some certain methods, policies, systems to be followed. All those things, he is the person who's going to, the management is the, it is going to play a role in giving you the crystal clear objectives. There will be so many objectives for particular project. They'll be narrowing down or shaping down the objectives. So crystallizing the objectives, collecting and synthesizing. Just a minute. Am I audible now? One second. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So, yeah. Is my slide getting shared? Okay. So, crystallizing, they'll be shaping down your objectives, collecting and like they'll be collecting the previous history. If there's any case of accident or any mistakes done, or all those things will be collected as an information. They'll be having a record book. Over that, they'll check, they'll verify, they'll refer it for their future references. Developing alternatives within the specified constraints. So when it's going to be any individual activity, you do have certain specified constraints. So within this particular duration, you have to finish it with the maximum quality. So you have so many constraints. They'll be developing n number of alternatives. So for a problem, they'll be arising out with so many alternatives, and the construction management team will be responsible for choosing the best alternative, comparing alternatives in terms of their objective feasibilities and consequences, selecting optimum course of action. So what happens, like you have a problem at the work site, so there will be two or three alternatives. So it will be the management team which will let you know if you adopt the option A or if you go for the plan B. So what will happen if you're going for this, whether you'll end up in trouble, or if you're going for the B, you will be getting maximum profit, or you'll be able to recover the issue. So they'll be coming out with a good course of action. Next is establishing policies, methods, systems, standards, and budgets for their objectives. So the entire firm will be having a certain regulations or the rules which they'll be following in a particular firm. He'll be the person or the manager, construction manager on the team will be responsible. They'll be letting know the others the what are the methods or the systems that are following in their construction firm. And next is the construction management functions. So in these functions, you have so many different category of classifications which they'll be doing. So the first and the major part is the planning. Without planning, you cannot do anything. Imagine whether you people are planning for any outing or for any trips or tours. What you will do? You will be first planning the location. Then you'll be planning how many people can go. Similarly, you'll be planning the budget, who all can go, and we'll be taking whose car, like how, but whether which we means can we go, whether by train or by car. So you'll be deciding whether all those things you'll be deciding. Similarly, when you go for a construction activity, you'll be having all the planning and scheduling. So this are the so many categories. This planning is the major or the important parameter. Based upon the plan only, you will be able to organize it. You will be for that particular activity, you will be recruiting the staffs. Staffs is nothing but the recruiting. And next is directing. That right person will be direct you to like which activity can be followed. Next is controlling. All the activities will be controlled or it will be monitored. There will be certain limitations. They'll make sure that the teams doesn't cross the limitations. Next is the co-coordinations. So first is planning. So planning is nothing but what to do and how to do. This is simply called planning. That's the thing we are going to follow. Planning involves the formulation of a number of alternative realistic work plan for achieving the specific objectives, and finally selecting a plan which is going to be suited. So when you're going to plan, you're going to construct a new house, you will be coming out with so many ideas. So you'll be asking your mom, your dad, your friends, your family, or like you yourself will start like what are the requirements you need. Whether you need two bedrooms or three bedrooms or five bedrooms. So you'll be deciding whether you're going for a multi-story building. Like if you're going to construct an apartments, or if you go going for an individual house or a duplex type of house. So all those things you will be deciding it. So that's nothing but the planning. You will have so many ideas. Only one final thing you'll be carrying on for the future, which is best suited for the standpoint available of resources and constraints imposed upon the project. You're going to construct a house, you'll be having n number of ideas, but finally you're going to take the like finalized plan only you'll be taking for your construction. It essentially covers the aspects of what to do and how to do it. Next is scheduling. So you have got your plan ready. Now you're going to start your scheduling. You have to create a work plan or a time frame. Within the time frame or the time scale, you have to complete your project. So scheduling is the fitting of final work plan of a time scale. It shows the duration and the order of various construction activities. So initially starting with earthwork operations, then you have your foundation, then you have your columns. So similarly, this is how you start your work. You have so many list of activities. You'll be listing all the activities and you'll be scheduling with how many number of days or weeks you require for each and every single activity. It deals with the aspect of when to do it. Next is organizing. Organizing. So we have one particular management team where there'll be like you have one planning team, you have one designing team, you have one execution team, or the persons at the work site. So you are the person or construction management or is the person who's going to organize all those activities. They'll be splitting up what are the activities and they'll be categorizing this activity should be given to this. So designing should be given to the design team and checking for the material stocks that should be given for the purchase and stocks team. So similarly, they'll be categorizing and they'll be allowing all the activities, allocating all the activities. Dividing the work into component activities, designing the job structures, defining the targets and responsibilities. It's not only like allocating the resources and they'll be fixing the particular targets and make sure that particular persons or the officials should take proper responsible to do that to complete that work. Allocating the resources. Similarly, like if it is going to be the purchase team, like yeah, they will make sure whether the finance team and the purchase team are in contact so that that particular product or a particular material when you are acquiring the financial help should be provided. All those things should be overall it will be monitored by our managers. Delegating specific tasks to the individuals, establishing organizational chart for better. So organizational chart is nothing but listing out all, or it's like splitting up all the activities under different categories and like it's a overall mind map. Like everything is done brought into a single chart. You have your planner, you have your executor, similarly you have your site engineer, you have your electrician, you have a plumber, you have your masons, so painters. So all from the top level till the bottom level, all the individual workers are brought into your organization chart. Next is the staffing. Staffing is nothing but you have some works to be completed. So you are going to recruit some right person for that particular job. So there may be so many persons with good knowledge, but you should identify who will be suiting best for that particular task. Staffing functions includes recruiting the right people, arranging staff training. So, like after you're recruiting the people, when you're newly joining into the firm, what they'll do, they'll be conducting some training courses so that you'll be put under training project. So only then they'll be that either 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, you will be totally understanding or analyzing what is actually happening in that firm. They'll let you know the entire regulation, the systems, the methodologies, what they are following, all those things they'll be letting you know. So you'll be studying what are the things they are following, what you should do and what you should not do. All those things will be taught in your training courses. And carry out proper staff assessment, building effective human resources. So you have some your HR team, they'll be monitoring all those things. So everything will be interconnected to your construction management team. So workforce is the life force. Optimum utilization of the resources improves employee satisfaction. Ensures like only if your employee is comfortable in your firm, he'll be able to produce the maximum output or the maximum tasks he'll be able to perform. If you are recruiting an employee, he is not satisfied with the working atmosphere or the environment, then he'll not be sitting in a job. He'll jump to another person's firm. So you have to provide provide a work friendly environment. Like they'll be frequently contacted, like you'll be giving so many training programs, or if they are not comfortable, you will set up an environment where they'll be more comfortable in working with their officials. Ensures competency and efficiency. Next is motivation. You have to frequently motivate them. Like in a team of 10 or 8, only like 3 or 4 will be highly motivated, the others will be little lagging in their work where they also have to achieve their goals. So frequent meetings will be conducted where the lags will be identified and they will be motivated to work better. Steps of staffing function methods. The manpower planning, nothing but after the planning, you will be identifying like you need some 3 vacancies or 4 vacancies in that particular department. Then you will be recruiting is nothing but selection. After selection, you will be you'll be orienting like which category you'll be giving to which candidate. You'll be determining based upon their specialization. Then you'll be training. So training and development programs will be I think once they have started developing by themselves, they'll be talking about the appraisals, the further promotions, compensations. So all those things will be done. Next is directing. So this directing, the role of direction also falls under the head of the construction management. Providing effective leadership, motivating the participant behavior. So you have so many colleagues around you. If they are lagging, it will be the manager construction manager, who is going to motivate them and bring the maximum output. Communicating instructions and orders. He'll be receiving some instructions or orders from the boss or the MDs or the directors level. They'll be communicating that to the lower level, that is their maybe the design team or the structure team or the construction team, whichever team it is, they'll be communicating. So he should be in good relationship with the boss as well as with the low man. Now, providing suitable workspace for the subordinates development. So he should be very friendly with the persons who are working under him. Only then they'll be comfortable. If the site supervisor is very strict and if there is any issue going on in the work site, the masons, like once if the construction manager is very comfortable with the masons or the low level workers or the skilled or the unskilled laborers, only then they'll be they'll be trusting him. Okay, let us go and inform this to the construction manager. Only then he'll be at least he'll be taking proper responses. So by skipping, by avoiding the site incident, they'll directly come and communicate what's the issue going on there or what's the problem or how it should be rectified. They'll come and discuss with you. So it's like he should be very comfortable. He should maintain a very public relation with both the senior as well as the bottom level labors. Next is controlling, specifying the factors to be controlled, monitoring the performance in terms of progress, quality, and cost. So, as I told you, the frequent review meetings will be there or progress meetings will be there. In that, they will be analyzing. So, as of the first month, as of the Jan end, how much activities has been scheduled and how much has been performed. Simply like you can call, they'll be plotting a bar graph where this is the assigned work and this below that you will be having the completed work. So that you can estimate, like you can determine whether we are leading or lagging. For example, this assigned work has been this activity has been assigned for 4 weeks. Similarly, you have completed that in 3 weeks. So you are going far by you're going forward by 1 week. So this is how they'll be easily monitoring or tracking the progress of the activities. Similarly, they'll be having the cost. So as of the fourth week, they'll be declaring that we'll be having some, say example 25 lakhs to complete this activities. So they'll be monitoring whether it has been this 25 lakhs has been utilized or whether they have been completed in 20 or 22, or whether it has exceeded 28. So all those things they'll be tracking. It's not only whether they have done the work or not, it's also based upon the quality and the cost. Comparing actual and planned performance, analysis of shortfalls and implementation of suitable remedial measures. If there is going to be any shortfall, maybe in shortfall in main materials, if the like as I told as in an example yesterday, you need some 50 people to start working today but you have only 20 people there, that shortfalls, all those things will be analyzed by the construction management team. Quick and accurate flow of information, he will be more responsible to instruct what instruction he has been received. Accurate information will be accurate information will be circulated to all the level of labors. Coordinating, bringing together and coordinating the work of various departments. simply like you will be having one planning team where they will be planning like this is going to be the like here you're going to have your we'll take a small building. Here you're going to have your kitchen, and this is going to be your main door. Similarly, this is your hall or the drawing room, and here you're going to have your bedroom, and here you're going to have your toilet. So all those things you have designed this, you have planned this, and this will be circulated to the design team. They'll be designing with all the structural components, and finally, the meeting will be conducted for checking whether it is feasible, whether it is following all the regulations, whether you have enough offsets throughout your entire plot. So all those things will be checked. So like frequent meetings will be conducted. Only then they'll be able to know whether which team is lagging and where the file is moving actually, whether the the planning has been done and it has been designed, whether it is moving on to the next team or where it is lagging. So which team is actually lagging. So all those things will be monitored, and all should be coordinated. So the budget, if you have any shortfall in budget, all those teams will be communicated, whether like what shall we do when we are going to construct a multi-story building, we are in some 20th floor, we have a shortage in the fund. They'll be discussing with the teams, they'll be getting so many ideas of what to do, like when shall we start the again continuation of the project. All those things will be discussed. Next is the stages of construction management team. Their scope may differ from one project to another project. So each and every project, they are going to have some different scope. For example, if the bridge construction or maybe a multi-story building construction, the objective or the target is going to vary, but the methodology will be similar. The main parties involved in the construction project are the clients, users, designers, executors, public authorities, and agencies. The clients are nothing but the people or the persons who is going to buy our product or who's going to buy our house. So if you're a builder, if you're a construction manager, you will be working in a firm. They'll be constructing the apartments or individual houses. They'll be selling it to one final customer or the client. They'll be the main party. And similarly, users, when you go for some public projects, like when you go for bridges, so it'll be the users and nothing but the public people who are going to use it. Similarly, the designers, executors, public authorities, and agencies. Next is the stages of a construction project. So, what are the different stages of the construction project? The first, when you start with the briefing. In the briefing, you're going to tell what project you're going to actually do and what are the requirements. All those things will be discussed there. Then it will move on to the designing team. They'll be start designing the from the foundation to the top level. They'll be designing. Next is the tendering, whether how much you can quote for this. So if you're going for a single PHK, whether you can quote it for 30 lakhs or you can quote it for 60 lakhs, it depends upon the sophistications. Next, it goes to the construction team. Finally, it goes to the commissioning team. The project management team creates the link between the above stages throughout the duration of the project. This team is a permanent body which includes the designers, contractors, suppliers, and managerial staffs. The team is normally headed by a project manager. So whatever activity they are doing, they do have a project manager over there who is responsible to the client for the execution of the project. Okay, let me stop with this today. Do you have any doubts to this? Yes. Do you have any
No,
doubts?
ma'am.
Okay. So this is going to be very basics, and from tomorrow's class we'll be seeing the role of the construction managers. Okay. Thank you, students.